that should count. We read his testimony. He claims he didn't strike her. But again, that's not the basis for our motion. The basis for our motion is the clear and undisputed evidence of non-physical abuse. By his definitions, by his standards, by the standards of his expert, there is no dispute that Mr. Depp abused Amber. And therefore, if he did it even one time, there's no dispute that even under their theory of the case, the implication that they want the jury to draw from the article, which again, I'm not arguing for the purposes.
He's not wrong, for the record, even though Johnny Depp's team is saying, okay, Johnny Depp's team is saying that it is defamation to consider him to be someone who is abusive, a wife abuser, someone who did domestic abuse to Amber Heard. But the reality is, and also what his own couples counselor said, was that there was at least some level of mutual abuse. And if you were to do a debate pervert style fucking argument, you could technically say, although Amber Heard is responsible for the overwhelming majority of abuse, specifically acts of physical violence towards Johnny Depp, there was at least one instance in which Johnny Depp was the first abusive person in the physical party, which would then ultimately mean that you can't say there is, you can't say that like it's a complete fabrication to say that Johnny Depp was not abusive in any capacity. And for the record, the physical act of the physical abusive act that I'm referencing is actually the first one, the private jet incident. Not only is it mutual, however, but it's mostly, on top of everything else, Amber Heard's fault for routinely picking fights and not letting Johnny Depp leave, and also on top of that, like escalating to acts of physical confrontation, specifically so Johnny Depp is reacting to that level of physical escalation with physical abuse himself. And in all of those situations, I don't think Johnny Depp is responsible for it. She is the instigating party. But if you're going to be technical about it, yes, his own people did openly admit that. His own witnesses, including the marriage counselor, does admit that there is mutual and reactive abuse, therefore implying that Johnny Depp at a certain point throughout the relationship has actually engaged in abuse. Okay? So, for the record, though, I think that this court case is more so about what we're doing right now, which is looking at all of the fucking singular individual instances of abuse and parsing through the information while also taking Johnny Depp's side and understanding Johnny Depp's side as a victim rather than the immediate fucking villain of the story. And in the past, we had only looked at it as Johnny Depp's the villain, Amber Heard is the victim here, or people didn't even care about it, right? So even if it's not legally defamation, right? Even if he loses the defamation suit, he was never going to win over $50 million. Amber Heard doesn't have $50 million in awards to give Johnny Depp anyway. This is about correcting the record. So understand that I think Johnny Depp's ultimate goals of basically changing, changing the public attitude about how he was a wife beater and how, he fucking beat the shit out of Amber Heard and how he was abusive, like, Johnny Depp's press or Johnny Depp's PR is dramatically shifting. Johnny Depp's attitude in the public consciousness is dramatically shifting away from him being like the wife beater to someone who was actually a victim of domestic violence. And I do agree. I think that he was a victim of domestic violence, and I do think that he deserves to correct the record on this matter. So yes, I do think that even though he loses this defamation suit in the end, probably, and if he won the defamation suit, I would be surprised and also openly state that, like, it's kind of, the judge there definitely offered a lot of leniency to Johnny Depp's defense team, right? The ultimate goal is still to do this. Straight up. We doing incel shit now? I mean, this isn't just incel shit. Saying that this is incel shit is basically openly admitting that like incels are the only ones who are talking about this and should talk about this, and no one else that talks about this can have a serious take on the matter. You know what I mean? It's not good. You offer too much to Amber? I do not. I do not. I think she is a bad person. I think she is an abusive partner. I think she also went so far as to utilize the relationship that she was in with Johnny Depp to turn around and fucking to attack him and to continue the legally speaking. I think what happened with the Sun when the Sun article came out, I think she used that as an opportunity to extend the relationship with Johnny Depp in the same way that she had time and time again in fights. Because whenever Johnny Depp wanted like a post-nuptial agreement, or whenever Johnny Depp wanted to fucking get out of the relationship, she literally fought with him. Right? She fought with him to continue the relationship, to continue the dynamic, to continue the back and forth. And I think like her siding with the Sun and saying like, no, I was a victim of domestic abuse, and like here are all the fucking instances after that amicable split, implies not that she was a fucking brave hero, okay? Not that she was a brave hero, but implies that I think she just wanted to have like one last go at it, you know, be across from him in a fucking court and be in his life in some meaningful capacity. Which is once again, I think something that an abusive partner would do, that like refuses to let go. The PR damage has been done. No amount of record change will fix that. I disagree. I completely disagree. I think that it's not getting a lot of play in mainstream media, but holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. I mean, the internet and all matter of independent media is like nonstop covering this. My friend, XQC was covering this, and so was Asmongold on this platform alone. XQC had 120,000 people watching him. Watch a fucking court case. The fuck does XQC know about the legal process or domestic violence? Are you fucking insane, dude? And 120,000 people were watching him. And I'm telling you right now, like, I'm sure plenty of people were watching Ludwig too. Like, you know, that's no, people fucking care about this shit. Like 100%. More people were watching this shit than they were, they give a fuck about fucking abortion laws. You know what I mean? Like, you're crazy. Depp is going to have a role in a Marvel movie lineup within a year. I mean, I don't really care about what kind of roles he might have, but I like some of the XQC streams. What the hell does he know about laws? I mean, yeah. I mean, my mind is what's changed. I thought Amber Heard hate was just incel redditorship, but now I more or less agree with your take. So, yeah, I think like, stop making fun of XQC. He is so smarter than you give him credit for. Wait, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm the one who says that. Shut up, idiot. You can't come in here and be like, no, I think XQC is very smart. I say it all the time. Yeah, I mean, the OG video for this on YouTube had like 250,000 people watching live.
Of today, because under the legal standard, I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to waste.
I think XG is smart, but that doesn't mean he's like, super knowledgeable about domestic violence statutes or whatever. You know what I mean?
The court's time with that. But even under their standard, the undisputed evidence is that Mr. Depp did commit abuse against Ms. Heard, and therefore that those first two statements were false. That's our argument on that.
He wouldn't even pretend.
As to the headline,
be honest about it.
It's funny, Mr. Chu, we played 2 or 3 hours of an ACLU deposition. Now he says, well, that wasn't our witness. It was his witness, Your Honor. He just spent 10 minutes talking about what Mr. Doherty said, and Mr. Doherty testified that the Washington Post wrote the headline. That is the only evidence, Your Honor. I understand he says, well, Exhibit 1 has her name on it. Exhibit 1 has her name on it. But the only evidence in this case about who wrote that headline is Mr. Doherty's testimony. It is undisputed. They could have put anyone else on. They could have called Ms. Heard for that because that was not part of the stipulation at the pretrial conference. It was only the tweet that we talked about, Your Honor, and they chose not to do that. Now, Ms. Heard will testify she didn't write that headline, so it wouldn't have helped them. But they've had 3 weeks to put on their case, Your Honor. They've controlled the playing field.
I want to hear accusations from Amber Heard's psychologist today. Because from what I understand, it's time. And they were pretty fucking severe, apparently.
No dispute that Ms. Heard did not write that headline. No dispute. Simply saying, well, her name is attached to it, that can't overcome the testimony of the ACLU. They call them a co-conspirator. Of course, Mr. Depp chose not to sue them. But the testimony of Terrence Doherty that she didn't write that headline, that takes care of the sexual violence headline, Your Honor. And I'm not going to take up any more of the court's time addressing portions of Mr. Chu's argument that don't go to our motion, unless Your Honor has any specific questions. But I want to be respectful.
All right, thank you, sir. All right. For this motion, I've taken the arguments of counsel, and last night I reviewed all of the evidence that has been submitted in this matter. So as to the second and third alleged defamatory statements, the motion to strike at this juncture, I view the evidence in the light most favorable to the plaintiff and reasonable inferences from the evidence to the plaintiff. And if there is a scintilla of evidence that a reasonable juror could weigh, then the matter survives a motion to strike. In this matter, there is evidence in the case that a jury could weigh that the state.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch all 3 hours. I want to see the fucking highlights, dude. Amber Heard's former nurse, Erin Filati.
Statements were made by the defendant, that the statements were about the plaintiff, that the statement was published, that the statement is false, and the defendant made the statement knowing it to be false, or the defendant made it so recklessly as to amount to a willful disregard for the truth. The weight of that evidence is up to the fact finder. So the motion to strike is denied as to statement 2 and 3.
It's a complicated case because, like, I think what Johnny Depp ultimately has to establish, his defense team ultimately has to establish, is that, like, Amber Heard was so violent from the jump that all manner of, like, mutual abuse, as indicated by their couples counselor, was still perpetrated originally by Amber Heard, and then Johnny Depp was just reacting to it simply. And also on top of that, which is going to be difficult because the first one is not initiated by her, and it's literally personally fucking admitted by Johnny Depp to not be initiated by her, right? So that is going to be an issue. But ultimately, on top of that, no, I know what the fucking judge just explained. Judge just explained basic defamation and how that works. The elements of what Johnny Depp must have to prove is that Amber said it, that it harmed Johnny Depp, that it was false, and that she knew it was false. Okay? And she was willfully negligent and, like, didn't care and wanted to hurt him, basically, right? Like, that's basic defamation that she's describing. But also on top of that, given the events that we already know of, given all of the evidence that we already have in this he said, she said circumstance of like 14 acts of violence that the original UK court said, Johnny Depp could have perpetrated. In all of those acts of violence, ultimately what you need to fucking prove is that in order for this to be full defamation, you have to basically prove that the couples counselor that said mutual abuse was actually still implying that, like, Amber Heard is the responsible party in all of them, in all acts of violence. Because I feel like even if there's one instance of violence that is perpetrated by Johnny Depp personally, as I believe the first ever incident on the private jet was, that is an incident where, like, you can just basically say it's not defamation then. Now, the UK court was, like, hyper fucking biased, and it was awful, obviously, as I've shown before. But in the American court, the responsibility is even harder. Like, the burden of responsibility for proof of said things is even harder in America. Defamation is easier to prove in the UK, or libel is easy to prove in the UK. It's stacked in the favor of those who are suing for libel. In America, it's the opposite. So that's why I say the ultimate goal of this isn't to win 50 million or prove 50 million in damages and then win 50 million or whatever. The ultimate goal is to correct the record. And I think Johnny Depp is winning on that front. They're doing a really good job. I think his team is doing a very, very good job of
the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case in 60 seconds. We've heard some wild stuff during this trial. Claims that Amber in their bed and that she, not Johnny, was a physical abuser. But most people are missing the point. Johnny isn't there to prove that he was abused. He's there to prove that Amber lied about being abused. The whole case is about Amber's 2018 op-ed, where she stated, 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Depp says this statement lied about him and damaged his career. But there are two major problems with Depp's case. One, the article never mentions him by name or gives any details about the abuse. It's very vague, and that helps Amber. Abuse comes in many forms, not just physical. If a jury finds that Johnny was abusive in any way, then he could lose. Two, Depp has to show that the article directly caused him to lose money, not for other reasons like substance abuse. Honestly, I think Johnny knows he might take the L here, but cares more about...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, boys. That's why. Yup. He's not going to win. The court is just for show. Because proving all of that is really, really difficult, especially in America. But he's doing it in front of the fucking comments, or in front of the cameras.
Telling his side of the story than actually winning. With their careers at risk, ask yourself, who really decides their fates? The courthouse or the court of public opinion? Let me know in the comments.
No, it's the court of public opinion. Yeah. Dude, he literally might win the case. Dude, even if he fucking wins the case, what do you think? Amber Heard has $50 million? Like, no. How are you guys not understanding this? Also, he just literally described exactly what I've been saying. And you're still saying, like, no, actually, that's not true. He's going to win the case. Like, no, I think him winning the case is really difficult. Really, really, really difficult. Especially because he himself has been abusive at times. That's the reason why Amber Heard's team tried to fucking drop it today. By saying, like, by basically stating that, by saying that their own witness testimony implied that Johnny Depp was also abusive. Or not a lawyer. I mean, it doesn't matter. The lawyer here and I are in agreement completely. Even if he, for the record, even if he loses, it's still a dub, like I'm stating. And I don't know why the fuck you guys don't understand.
Okay, so this is the first.
Even if you think it's an L, it's still a dub. I don't know why you have to win this argument. I don't know. It's not that I'm winning the argument. I don't think people are understanding my position. He's winning right now. Johnny Depp is winning currently. He doesn't have to actually win the award in the trial. He doesn't have to actually win the trial at all. Okay? It's done. He's already winning. It's a major fucking dub for him because we're watching this. We're watching this. We're watching it unfold, and we are sympathizing with Johnny Depp. There are plenty of people who probably never thought about this before and unconditionally were like, why the fuck would Amber Heard lie about this shit so publicly? And most likely have changed their attitudes now. You know what I mean? The Claudia Wow Pow is so funny because, like, they're a major fucking Johnny Depp simp. Like, literally, since I started this court case, like, they've been fucking going wild. Like, it's fine. Really think he's hot and you think he's great. I get it. Like you want your Captain Jack Sparrow to fucking win this court case, and probably not going to happen, but it doesn't matter because he's winning anyway. Being able to restore your image as someone who not only was not a fucking wife beater but was the victim of domestic abuse yourself is a huge dub. In this day and age especially, who the fuck gets to do that? That never happens. You know what I mean? So it's great. Like he's winning regardless.
First time I will kind of really get political on my page ever. It's gonna hurt some feelings. As a political campaign manager, I actively work in the political system to get progressive candidates elected. It is crucial right now that you are dumping dollars, you are knocking doors, you are making phone calls for your candidates, especially in the state and Senate level. This is not a joke. I'm not fear-mongering or anything. Y'all need to get your hands dirty real quick, because this could just be the beginning. Gay rights are up next. Rights to marry who you want are up next. If y'all don't vote for progressive candidates.
Depp was definitely physical with Heard. No shot. He wasn't. Why are people simping? Dude, you have to understand the reason why people are fucking simping on Johnny Depp is because everybody likes the underdog, and they think that, and they recognize that Johnny Depp, while an imperfect person, an imperfect victim, is still the victim in that party. He is not only a victim of domestic abuse, but he's also a victim of domestic abuse who has been falsely smeared as the main perpetrator of domestic violence in that relationship where he was actually a fucking victim. Stop assuming that victims have to be perfect. Victims are not going to be perfect. Johnny Depp is not a good person across the board, okay? He has a lot of fucked up things that he's done in the past. He's also an addict, which doesn't make him a bad person, but definitely will reinforce some of the bad and toxic cycle of violence that he may have been engaging in, okay, that he may go back into. It makes it easier. I know this from my own personal experience, okay? He does not have to be a perfect victim. That doesn't change the reality that he is a victim. He is the victim of domestic abuse in the relationship, okay? Anyway, the court heard how Johnny Depp sexually assaulted Amber Heard. By the way, there's no proof for this whatsoever. And this didn't even happen, or this was never mentioned until like literally recently, for the record.
So there was a number.
Like there was never, what do you call it? This trigger warning, by the way, but this incident that they are describing, if it's the one I'm thinking of, they never actually fucking, they never, ever brought this up ever until the UK court case. For the record.
Number of incidents of sexual violence reported in this relationship. Those are documented early on in Dr. Bonnie Jacobs' notes, where when Mr. Depp was drunk or high, he threw her on the bed, ripped off her nightgown, and tried to have sex with her. There were times when he forced her to give him oral sex when he was angry. These weren't in loving moments. These were angry moments, moments of dominance, moments of him trying to get control over her. There was a time when they were in Hicksville in the trailer, I don't want to say trailer park, but I guess there's trailer park. It is a trailer park, where he was accusing.
This isn't even the therapist. This is a person speaking on behalf of the therapist of Amber Heard. But also, she's speaking on behalf of the therapist, right? Why is everybody saying objection hearsay in the fucking chat, dude? You're not lawyers, you fucking weirdos. Or sorry, not therapist, psychologist. The forensic, that's the psychologist, sorry. But no, she's not. She's just... The court hears Johnny Depp sexually assaulted Amber Heard. Hashtag I stand with Amber Heard. Okay. This is a funny meme. Yeah. Objection, my lord. How is that allowed to use evidence from therapists? What are you talking about? They've literally exclusively used evidence from therapists. Objection, my lord. From armchair detectives to armchair lawyers.
Her of a woman hitting on Amber, and that was the problem. Amber got accused of women hitting on her, and it got accused of men hitting on her. So there were so many targets that came through in his obsessive jealousy. But when he, on that incident when Kelly Sue was accused of hitting on Miss Heard, and they went back into the trailer, Mr. Depp performed a cavity search, and ostensibly was looking for drugs and felt it acceptable to rip off her nightgown and stick his fingers up her vagina to look for.
Where's proof? There's no proof. But, and he says, she said situation would have to take at least her words seriously. But in this situation, she already has demonstrated a history of fucking being an unreliable narrator. But more importantly than that, she's been very detailed on incidents of violence where she was the victim of violence, right? Or she claims she was a victim of violence to the degree that she literally made shit up, right? Like things that are not consistent with what was actually happening. But she left this part out. I mean, isn't this the fucking smoking gun? Isn't this quite literally the smoking gun? Wouldn't this be the actual main thing? Why did she never bring this up when she straight up? Why did she never bring up the sexual assaults? And don't say fucking trauma, considering the reality that she literally fucking. We know for a fact that she also, in instances where like Johnny Depp was the one who was fucking abused, turned around and made herself, by exaggerating what Johnny Depp had done, turned around and made herself appear like the victim. The expert's going to get grilled for reading from her notes during a testimony. Yeah, the famous thing that she talks about, I think, is a bottle. She claimed, I remember that one. Where I think there was she said that Johnny Depp, trigger warning again, raped her with a bottle or something, I think. But again, if you are dramatically retelling events that took place to make yourself look like a bigger victim in this situation, to a degree where you're literally fucking lying, right? And you are openly lying, and in the court case, your lies can be matched with body camera footage from cops, for example, right? Why would you not lie about this ahead of time? Like, documented everything. You straight up fucking lied about certain instances where you made yourself to be the victim. Why did she never mention this ahead of time?
For cocaine, thought that maybe she was hiding them there. And again, these incidents often happened in a drug-fueled rage. There was another incident in the Bahamas where when he got angry, he took his fingers and he put them in her vagina and moved her around violently in the closet. Again, an act of sexual violence. And of course, the incident in Australia was one of...
Because it's harder to bring up when it's true. Are you really giving shit to a victim? Yes, she's also a victim for not coming forward sooner. I mean, you have to understand that part of this conversation that we're having currently is literally around whether she is a responsible and reliable narrator of events that took place. And out of the 14 incidents, including ones where she was like personally fucking violent, I would go so far as to say no. Like she is not a responsible nor reliable orator. So it's not that it's not that wild for me to come on, man, that's some bad stuff. You think people are gonna make that up? Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like she pretty much, according to multiple fucking witnesses, was brutalizing Johnny Depp regularly in the relationship, and yet still turned around and was like, I was the victim of domestic violence. Literally on record, caught in 4K, straight up was saying, who's going to believe you, Johnny? Who's going to believe that you were violent with me? You're a big man. I mean, who's going to believe that I was violent with you? You're a big man. Yeah, I hit you, but go ahead, be a baby and fucking tell people that it was a fair fight. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, totally. That, like, who would say that shit, right? That's fucking crazy. Except she did say that and we heard it. So it's a little bit difficult for me to you know, assume that everything she's saying is like completely true when she's openly stating that like she has done physical abuse to Johnny Depp, and also on top of that has like literally goaded him into recognizing that in a patriarchal construct, that you know, in a patriarchal society, people are not going to believe male victims of domestic abuse. The more you talk about it, the worse it sounds. I mean, but that's the truth. I mean, guys, you have literally a couples counselor that treated both of them openly state that Amber Heard routinely start fights with Johnny Depp when Johnny Depp was trying to physically avoid Amber Heard. And she did not hold back from escalating to physical confrontation because a physical fight would still be better than Johnny Depp leaving. Johnny Depp regularly tried to fucking leave. Okay, when you hear that from their fucking couples counselor that was treating both of them, or when you hear that like Amber Heard's own friend who's a fucking nurse who has no reason to lie about this whatsoever and has reason to lie on behalf of Amber Heard say that in one of the instances of domestic violence, supposed acts of domestic violence where Amber Heard was like brutally beaten mercilessly by Johnny Depp and had her nose broken and had the bed frame broken and all this shit. And her nurse friend walks into the house and takes notes on Amber Heard in that incident and in her note says, I don't see any visible bruising or anything like that. Well, that's a little fucking, it gives you a little bit more cause for concern, right? I think. I know that domestic violence and domestic abuse can be hidden in plain sight in many different ways, right? I totally understand that. But you also have to recognize that like there is a capability. This does not mean anything like at the systemic level, but there is a capability for someone to potentially lie and make themselves present themselves like the victim of domestic violence when they themselves are the one who is perpetrating domestic violence. That's why I said we're going to talk about women's rights in the form of abortion, and then we're going to talk about women's wrongs in the form of Amber Heard later today, okay? All of a sudden, we're talking about women's wrongs, and you don't want to talk about that. Now, I'm joking. This is not an indication of anything systemic, okay? If anything, this is an indication, again, of one of the other ways that patriarchy hurts men as well. This is why people don't believe men when they come out as victims. This is why people belittle men when they come out as victims. Okay? Do you understand? Amber Heard being not a great person and being an abusive person does not magically all of a sudden turn all of the incidents of violence against women into justifiable acts of violence. It doesn't magically all of a sudden make abusive, predatory pieces of shit look good. You have to be an actual psychopath to think that this court case is an indication of anything but simply just this court case. And if you want to take out any kind of systemic analysis from this court case, the only analysis that you should be taking out is that in a patriarchal society, women can, in certain instances, be abusive and then turn around and take advantage of the patriarchal constructs that make it so hard to hear men as victims. Okay? That's it. And that's the truth. That is, once again, the patriarchy hurting men, just like white supremacy hurts white people. In ways that are not immediate, and in this situation, patriarchy is hurting men, men who do have the capability of being victim, and yet people don't. Okay, I think you mean matriarchy. What? First of all, we don't live in like some fucking tribal society that is completely devoid of outside contact. One of like the 3 matriarchal societies that ever existed throughout history. Okay, no, I mean patriarchy. It's men's fault that men can't be. It's men's fault that men can be victims or can't be victims. I know that a lot of fucking incels hear me say this and get mad, and they go, "It's men's fault." Yeah, it's not you in that situation. It's other men, but it's a system that we have designed that is hurting us. You can see a similar concept in like, again, it is a patriarchal construct that women are incapable of paying for their own salaries or paying their own way throughout society. It's literally, there's historical precedent for it, but there's a specific reason why even when women are still capable of holding a job and having a job, that men sometimes end up footing the bill. That's patriarchal, but it is a remnant of antiquated beliefs. And new analysis might be necessary on a case-by-case basis, but that's where that still comes from. And if you're a fucking dumbass incel, you probably should understand that. Doesn't mean that it's matriarchal or anything like that. Nice that you easily overlook reactive abuse and self-defense. Mutual abuse is not a thing. Also, Johnny's lied over 80 times on stand. Just wait till Amber's team presents their whole case. Nice that I overlook reactive abuse and self-defense. You do realize that that's precisely what Johnny Depp's team is saying, right? Like, mutual abuse in this instance is actually being helpful to Amber Heard, in my opinion, instead of saying reactive and defensive abuse, which is what Johnny Depp was doing, saying that the abuse was mutual. So, you know. Leftist multi-millionaire, by the way. What? Wait. Where is he coming from? Why did he say that? What does an incel have anything to do with this case? Leftist multi-millionaire, by the way. Dude, that's awesome. My biggest haters love talking about how successful I am. It's so fucking weird, dude. Like, we live in a planet where the left magically and automatically means you're a fucking loser. So much so that fucking losers will literally come in and be like, dude, you're a leftist multi-millionaire. I mean, that's awesome. That's super cool that so many people just willingly agree that that's just a good own.
The most severe instances of sexual violence that Miss Heard had to endure, in which when he was beating her and choking her and telling her, I'm going to fucking kill you, I hate you, I'm going to fucking kill you, and he grabbed a bottle that was on the bar and penetrated her with that bottle. And Miss Heard reported to me of dissociating and going outside of her body, and the only thing she was thinking is, oh God, I hope it's not the broken one.
Heart attacks, so everyone can get healthcare. By the way, yeah, I know. Women can benefit from and uphold patriarchy as well. Some women vote against abortion rights. Shit is way more nuanced than people want to think. Yeah. Why don't you give your money away? I already do, like to your mom after I had sex with her last night. Oh, also, she has COVID now because I had COVID. Get owned, nerd. How is this not just hearsay? I mean, it's all hearsay, dude. Of course, it's a fucking he said, she said situation, right? Where everything, like everything is going to be her accounts against his accounts, right? That's it. And then in some of the instances, there are, there's like a little bit of fucking testimony that you can get from witnesses. But other than that, for the most part, is just what Amber Heard is saying versus what Johnny Depp is saying. Is it a good thing for this case to be live? I think so far it's been pretty decent. Why do I think so far it's been pretty decent? Because I think that Johnny Depp has been able to get his side to be heard. It's not hearsay because she's an expert witness. Wait, what? No, she's still recounting what Amber Heard told her. She's claiming that this is what Amber Heard told her. Check out lawyer Limar on TikTok. She does a great job of covering the case daily from videos from the court. Okay, show me. Give me a clip. Not just men are affected by the stupid notion that women are unable to become abusers. It's also bi and lesbian women too. It was tough for me to even admit to myself I was being abused, much less report the person to the authorities. First time I ever spoke about it, people dismissed it and said it was just her being hysterical. Heard a couple times that a conversation would solve it. Haha, lol. So yeah, and honestly, fuck Amber and what she represents. Sure, but expert witnesses can't do hearsay. No, I'm saying, okay. My point is that it's still Amber's side. It's just, it's still he said, she said in that situation. It's just someone claiming that Amber's side is someone on Amber's side, on Amber's team, or a witness that Amberstein presented, relaying information from her side. Ultimately, there's no additional proof. She wasn't there. That's what I'm saying. It's an expert opinion, or it's an expert testimony. So it's not like, it doesn't, I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, she will be cross-examined plus no proof of her story being true. Exactly. That's how it always works, though. Then they're going to undermine her credibility when in cross-examination. And that's it. I didn't have an opinion on this before, but it seems like the definition of terms is the issue of the mutual abuse thing. According to many relationship abuse experts, mutual abuse is an oxymoron. Experts question the phrase mutual abuse after testimony in Depp heard trial. The phrases mutual abuse and reactive abuse fail to account for the power dynamic in an abusive relationship, some experts say. Irrelevant question. Do you have any podcasts, Rex? I listen to too many NPR Lib podcasts while I work out. I always listen to the Lib podcasts. It angers me. That's what keeps me going. The anger I feel at the bottom of my heart. Amber Heard reported bloody bruise, alleged lip bruising. Amber Heard reported bipolar disorder and eating. Are these from today, chat? Amber Heard's former nurse, Erin Fatale, testifies in court. Yeah, okay, let's see this one.
I'm just looking at my nursing notes. It looks like August 27th, 2014.
Okay, so can we please pull up the nursing notes, which I believe are Exhibit 2? Okay, I'd like to, while we have this...
Bro, what the fuck is she wearing, dude? Sorry, this is not a sexist take at all. I know you're going to be like, bro, why does she look like a conductor, dude? What is happening? I didn't even fucking realize. What is that? I mean, it's kind of drippy. Like, honestly, it is kind of drippy, but why is she out here looking like fucking Count Chocula, dude? What the fuck? I've never seen lapels like that. Shit looks like a whale tail, dude. Oh my God. Why does she look like she's at the Magic Castle after the court case? She's going to go up in the Magic Castle and do some fucking card tricks and shit. Was it laundry day at the fucking Heard residence? Did Eve Fartlow fart all over her clothes?
This document up, I'd like to go through this section that's called client history. Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Was the information in this paragraph self-reported to you by Ms. Heard?
I just have a quick moment to review that, and then I can answer that question.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Bro, she literally looks like she's like, hey, can we wrap this up? I got the Philharmonic later. Straight up. Motherfucking Pagliacci looking ass, dude. What is happening? Straight up. She's got the clown is me. I'm Pagliacci, Mr. Therapist bit. She missed the Met Gala.
So, to answer that question, I believe this was information given to me from Ms. Heard. I'm not positive, but I can say that anytime I refer or begin a sentence with client states or client reports, those I can confirm, I received that information from the client. As far as in totality, I would assume most information came from Ms. Heard, but I can't rule out that I didn't get any information from the treating physician in preparation either.
And I think you, would this information have been relayed to you at that first meeting with Ms. Heard?
This information, if it was information I received from Dr. Kipper, I would have had that information probably prior to meeting her. But anytime that I said states and I can confirm that I got that information, I would assume that it was sometime within the first day or two of meeting her because I usually take a client history when I meet a client.
Put out a couple more sentences. It says, AH reports history of substance abuse, including an addiction to cocaine and liquor. CT client report.
You love referencing Pagliacci? Do you feel a kindred spirit with the character? Yes. I am the sad clown. And also, I got fucking pipes, dude, just like Pagliacci. Pagliaccio! You see that? Dude, out of nowhere, I'll just fucking bust it. And before you know it, you're like, what the fuck? Was that Pavarotti? What the fuck? What just happened? Yeah. Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, you go from Instagram voice to Pavarotti voice, you know? What the fuck? Put on that Amber Heard outfit and you're ready to rock? Yeah. You scared the fuck out of me, bro? Yeah, Amber Heard got me acting different. Amber Heard got me acting like Pavarotti. Just blew the damn AirPods out of my ears, dude. Yeah, well, just like this top of the hour ad break's gonna blow your fucking lid off, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do that for $5 or you can do that for free. For the Twitch Prime, that is. As long as you have an Amazon Prime account connected to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription. Oops, I burped. One free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite streamer, me. Hasan sings Pavarotti. And also, I got fucking pipes, dude. Just like Pagliacci. Pagliaccio! You see that? Dude, out of nowhere, I'll just fucking bust it. And that. Yep. Thank you, Small Trans, for the 5 gifted subs. I'm in the pocket of big trans and small trans. You know what I'm saying? Small trans, big trans, all kinds of trans. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Damn, bro, the cops just showed up at my door. Say they got a noise complaint. You're grassroots trans. The Constitution is made up. The Supreme Court is made up. We could literally push all those old people down a flight of stairs. We're literally all choosing to play by these dumb rules. I do not condone. I condemn. The Salesforce Tower climber made it all the way up. Oh, that's sick, dude. I'm glad. This is why I'm so depressed about the road.